Terence Crawford he's already in the history books. He's an amazing fighter. It's a fun fighter to watch. And so is Canelo.
If Terence Crawford pulled that off, where would that put him all time?
He's just, I think he stands alone by himself. If he pulled that off and he beats Canelo, he stands alone by himself.
Okay.
Now, I wanna touch on a lot in this video, right? But you guys seen that was a video from YSM Sports Media. He was interviewing one of the coaches in his gym. I think his name is Coach Reg, I believe. And he was asked where would a victory over Canelo Alvarez place Terence Crawford in history books. And he stated that Terence Crawford stands alone. Now, I got two problems with that, right? I believe Terence Crawford already stands alone. That's number one. And number two, I don't believe Terence Crawford needs to move up 3 weight divisions to beat Canelo Alvarez to stand alone. If Terence Crawford moves up to 154 and capture a belt or become undisputed at 154, all he's doing is furthering the gap between him and the rest of the greats. That's all he's doing. Because y'all try to sneeze at the fact that no man have ever became undisputed in 2 different weight divisions. No man have, imagine all this time, right? During the 4 belts era, no man has ever become undisputed in 2 different weight divisions, right? And this man, right, the most feared man, right, the most competitive man, right, the most skilled man of all time decided that he's gonna do that, and he doesn't stand alone. Something that's never been done in history, right? It's not just he just moving up in weight division, beating random guys and stuff like that, no. Or beating random champions, moving up and handling the task that's at hand. No, Terence Crawford defeats the guys that's in front of him. He clears out weight divisions. This man stands alone. Now, it's been reported that the WBO ordered Terence Crawford the mandatory of the Brian Mendoza versus the Tim Tszyu fight, which we know that Tim Tszyu, he defeated Brian Mendoza, right? Now, that would be a great move for Terence Crawford, even though you said that he wouldn't fight Jermell Charlo. It seems like Terence Crawford has never been in the position where he gets to choose who he wants to fight, right? So he can't really make up his mind. Now, we all know that he wants the Canelo Alvarez fight, but that might not come to fruition because we see Canelo Alvarez has been dismissive recently of Terence Crawford. So we don't know if that fight is going to come to fruition. But what we do know is the WBO, they made Terence Crawford Fighter of the Year and Fight of the Year, and they also made him the mandatory of Tim Tszyu WBO strap at 154. So I feel like that would be a very great fight. Tim Tszyu's a very great opponent. I feel like if Terence Crawford wants big money, the best thing for him to do is probably to go to Australia and fight Tim Tszyu. And if Terence Crawford goes to Australia and fight Tim Tszyu, because right now, Jermell Charlo is not the best at 154. I don't care what you guys want to say. It is definitely Tim Tszyu. It's kind of similar to the Errol Spence Jr. and the Terence Crawford situation, right? I mean, Jermell Charlo wasn't running from Tim Tszyu for that long because Tim Tszyu just came on the scene. But Jermell Charlo, he has been running from Tim Tszyu and been dismissive of Tim Tszyu the same way how Errol Spence Jr. has been running and been dismissive of Terence Crawford, right? Tim Tszyu holds the WBO belt, and Jermell Charlo, he holds the rest of the belt. So it's kind of like the same situation. But Terence Crawford was the best, and he was holding the WBO belt, right? And Errol Spence Jr. was holding the rest of the belts. So it's a similar situation, bro, right? Tim Tszyu to me is better than Jermell Charlo. You got to remember, Jermell Charlo, he doesn't really separate himself from his opponents. In the first fight versus him and Tony Harrison beat him. The second fight, he was losing until he pulled a knockout out of his ass. Just like the same thing with Brian Castani. In the first fight, he lost. They said it was a draw, but we know he lost. And the second fight, he pulled a knockout out his ass, but he was losing. You feel me? So he's not really one of them guys that's really gonna sit here and outbox you for 12 rounds. Like, he don't have the ability to do that. He's not a great boxer, right? He relies on his power too much, and if he's not able to knock you out, then there's nothing that he would do to you. Now, I was watching the Brian Mendoza fight, and Tim Tszyu definitely did get hurt to the body by Brian Mendoza. But I'm not sure if Jermell Charlo has the killing instinct and he's going to be able to capitalize on that. So I think Tim Tszyu is the best at 154. He's undefeated. He never lost. He knocked out Tony Harrison, just like how Jermell Charlo did, right? But he made it look more easy than Jermell Charlo did, right? And to me, he just looks like the more solid fighter, right? And we can't sit here and put Jermell Charlo performance against Canelo Alvarez behind us thus far. Like, we know what he did against Canelo Alvarez. You understand? So if Terence Crawford has the opportunity to go and fight Tim Tszyu, that'll be a big fight. Especially if he decides to do it in Australia. If Terence Crawford goes to Australia, right, and defeats the best guy at 154 and Tim Tszyu, that will be the second time Terence Crawford actually goes in someone's backyard and defeats them and take their belts. Terence Crawford did it against Ricky Burns when he went to Scotland and defeat Ricky Burns for the 135-pound WBO strap, right? He went to Ricky Burns' backyard and totally dominated Ricky Burns and defeat Ricky Burns. So this will be Terence Crawford's second time going into a different country once again for the WBO strap. And that will be a huge fight because the money's going to look different in Australia, like I stated, right? So that will be a great fight. I believe that's a great matchup for a Terence Crawford because Tim Tszyu is not going to go in there and lay down. Tim Tszyu is actually a very solid boxer, right? He got great counter-punching ability and he has great timing. So that would be a puzzle for Terence Crawford to figure out. Do I believe Terence Crawford can beat Tim Tszyu? Absolutely. I believe Terence Crawford has the ability not just to beat Tim Tszyu, but to stop Tim Tszyu because Terence Crawford is a total different fighter from the rest of the fighters that Tim Tszyu has been in the ring with. Terence Crawford has the ability to switch. He has power in both hands. He has the IQ that we've never seen before, right? And Terence Crawford is looking to figure you out, and he's looking to take away your best attributes, and he's looking to hurt you and get you up out of it. And I'm 100% sure Tim Tszyu has never been in the ring with someone that level of opponent as a Terence Crawford. But as the chips plays and time goes on, right, we're looking to see the rematch between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. Allegedly it's in February. They're trying to get the rematch in February. And I forgot to touch on this topic. I'm making a separate video about Bomac coming back. I'm excited about that also, right? But yeah, I think that's the best move for Terence Crawford. Like, I'm not ruling out the Canelo Alvarez fight. I really want to see that Canelo Alvarez fight because I believe that Terence Crawford has the ability to defeat Canelo Alvarez, right? But we just gonna have to wait and see. But Terence Crawford versus Tim Tszyu, that's the fight to be made because Canelo Alvarez, he looks like he doesn't want to fight Terence Crawford, and we all know that Tim Tszyu is with the ish and Tim Tszyu is with the smoke. So that would be a great fight to be made. And Terence Crawford would just padded on, right? Because not only that he's moving up to 154, he's fighting the best guy at 154, right? And if he beats Tim Tszyu, then he puts himself in a position to fight Jermell Charlo and become undisputed in 3 different weight divisions. So not only that he's beating Tim Tszyu, which I believe is the best guy at 154, then he's beating Jermell Charlo, the guy that has the rest of the belt, the guy that believe that he's the best at 154. So if Terence Crawford beats Tim Tszyu, right, and then he goes into a fight with Jermell Charlo, that would be 2 payday for Terence Crawford, and that would be 2 legendary fight for Terence Crawford because he'd be going in the backyard of another opponent and defeating them and taking their belt, and then he will go into a fight with Jermell Charlo and take the rest of his belt and become undisputed, and that will make Terence Crawford stand alone, hands down, no comparison doesn't have to move up 3-weight divisions to defeat Canelo Alvarez. Absolutely not. If Canelo Alvarez doesn't want to fight Terence Bud Crawford, that's the best route for Terence Bud Crawford to take. Now, if he does that and he defeats Tim Tszyu, right, and he goes into a fight with Jermell Charlo, then Terence Bud Crawford can possibly fight Canelo Alvarez after. It depends on Canelo Alvarez, because we know Canelo Alvarez, he's the big dog, right? He's probably not the best fighter, but he's the big dog. He got a massive following of Mexicans that follow him everywhere that he goes, and I believe that's great for boxing also. I'm not taking no credit away from Canelo Alvarez, but I believe that that's the route for Terence Crawford to take. And if Canelo Alvarez is at the end of the tunnel, then Terence Crawford is going to have to deal with that. And I think that Terence Crawford would deal with that very well. But you guys see what I got for y'all, though. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Share this video if you enjoy this content. Hit that subscription button, and I'm out.